Most people never reach their true potential, not because their body couldn't handle it, but because their mind gave up too soon. You know that voice in your head? The one that whispers, "This is too hard. You're too tired. You've done enough." That voice is the enemy. And if you listen to it, you'll never see what you're really capable of. Because the truth is, you're not even close to your limit. You're just close to the edge of your comfort zone. Big difference. Your body still has more. Your heart's still beating. But your mind, it's trying to shut you down because it doesn't like pain. It doesn't like pressure. It wants easy. But you didn't come this far to settle for easy. You're here to break limits, to push through that voice, to prove that what's inside you is stronger than anything that tries to stop you. Because that moment when your mind says, "I'm done," that's not the end. That's the beginning of who you could become. Your mind will quit before your body does, but only if you let it. Your mind builds walls. Your effort breaks them. Your mind is the first battlefield before the world ever doubts you, before the weight gets heavy, before the setbacks hit. It's your own mind that turns on you first. It doesn't come at you loud. It comes quiet, subtle, soft, whispers like, "You're tired. It's too much. You've done more than enough for today. Just take it easy. You deserve it." And if you're not wide awake, if you're not sharp, locked in, battle ready, you'll believe those lies. You'll back off when you should double down. You'll slow down when you should go harder. You'll quit when you're just inching toward the breakthrough. Because here's what you've got to understand. Your mind doesn't care about your goals. It cares about your comfort, your safety, your survival. But survival is not the mission. Dominance is, growth is, self-mastery is. And those don't live in the comfort zone. They live past it. Buried beneath pain, pressure, resistance, and struggle. The average man, he hears the voice of fatigue and he folds. He mistakes that voice for his limit. But the warrior, the one who's locked in on a mission, he hears the same voice and he smirks. Because he knows, that's not my limit. That's just the alarm system in my brain trying to pull me back into the cage. And you weren't made for cages. You were made for conquest. Let me say that again for the man still doubting himself. You were made to conquer, not coast. You were made to break walls, not build excuses. You were made to go beyond what's reasonable, what's expected, what's normal. Because normal men live small lives. They chase pleasure. They run from pain. They do just enough to get by and then wonder why they're empty inside. But not you. You don't want the soft life. You don't want the easy path. You want to earn your strength. You want to sweat for your self-respect. You want to become undeniable. And to do that, you've got to get comfortable being uncomfortable. You've got to rewire your entire operating system. You've got to hear the voice in your head saying, "Stop," and reply with cold steel in your voice. Not today. You've got to wake up every day and declare, "I'm not here to be average. I'm not here to survive. I'm not here to participate. I'm here to take over." And the takeover doesn't happen in the spotlight. It happens in the dark, when no one's watching, when it's just you and the weights, you and the work, you and that voice in your head. And if you want to win this game, you better learn how to fight in the silence, to bleed in the shadows, to train when it's boring, to show up when you feel empty. Because anyone can grind when it's easy, when the music's loud, when the crowd's cheering, when the energy is high. But it's the man who shows up when everything in him says not to, that's the one who builds legacy. So hear me when I say this. Every time you feel weak and you keep going, you're building a new weapon. Every time you want to quit and you push harder, you're sharpening your edge. Every time you hear that soft little voice begging for comfort and you respond with more, that's when you become dangerous. Not to the world, but to the old you, the weaker you, the version of you that let the mind win for far too long. That version dies here. Because today something shifts. Today you stop treating your thoughts like commands. Today you stop asking for permission. Today you stop letting comfort write your future. From this day forward, effort writes it. Discipline writes it. Pain writes it. Sweat writes it. Because effort is the key that opens every locked door. Effort is the wrecking ball that crushes every mental wall. Effort is the antidote to weakness. So when the voice says, "This is your limit," you reply, "My effort decides my limit, not my mind." When it says, "It's not worth it," you say, "Then why does it matter so much to me?" And when it screams, "You can't go any further," you smile and you keep going anyway. That's how men are made. That's how greatness is born. That's how you go from average to unstoppable. This is your war, your path, your time. And from this moment on, your mind doesn't run the show. Your effort does. Your potential lives past the pain. Most people talk about their goals like they're guaranteed, like success is a matter of time, like one day it'll just happen, but it won't. Not until you earn it, not until you bleed for it, not until you go through the kind of pain that makes most people give up and you choose to keep going anyway. Because pain is not your enemy, it's the gate, and on the other side of that gate is everything you want. Strength, respect, discipline, power, legacy. But you'll never touch any of it if you back off when it gets hard. You think your limits are real? You think your body's telling the truth when it says enough? No, that's your mind playing tricks. That's weakness whispering in your ear, hoping you'll fold like everyone else. But not you. You're built for more. You're not here to live soft, you're here to dominate. And domination doesn't happen without war. War against comfort. War against weakness. War against every lazy thought in your head telling you to quit. You've got to go through the struggle. You've got to walk through hell. Because greatness isn't given. It's earned in blood. You build strength in the final reps. You build grit in the extra hours. You build power when you feel like collapsing. And you keep going anyway. That's what most people will never understand. They chase results, but they avoid the pain that creates them. They want the finish line, but hate the uphill climb. But you live for the climb. You feed off the grind. You thrive in the fire. Because that fire, that's your forge. That's where your potential gets melted down, crushed, reshaped, and reborn into something indestructible. You think the strongest men got there by accident, by doing what was easy, by staying comfortable? No, they suffered. They pushed when everything said stop. They crawled when their legs gave out. They refused to quit when no one else was watching. And that's what it takes. You want to know what separates the ones who dream from the ones who build empires? It's what they do when it hurts. Pain is the crucible. It doesn't just test you, it reveals you. It shows the difference between the man who only talks about doing great things and the man who actually becomes something great. And you don't get there by luck. You get there by refusing to stop. When your legs are screaming, when your vision is blurry, when your mind says this is too much, you say good. You say bring it. You say, let it hurt. I'm still not backing down. Because you're not just building muscle. You're building character. You're building resilience. You're building that savage version of you who doesn't break, no matter what. And that version is dangerous. He's locked in, focused, unstoppable, because he's already been through the fire, and he's still standing. So next time it burns, don't run. Next time it breaks you down, don't fold. Next time it hurts so bad you can barely breathe, smile. Smile because you're exactly where you need to be. That pain you feel, That's your body adapting. That's your mind leveling up. That's your soul going to war with every excuse that's ever held you back. So stop wishing for it to be easier. Start getting addicted to hard. Fall in love with the discomfort, because the longer you can suffer with purpose, the further you'll go. Your potential isn't hiding in comfort, it's buried in pain. And the only way to reach it is to earn it, day by day, rep by rep, battle after battle. You keep showing up, you keep hurting, you keep climbing, because you're not after what's easy, you're after what's eternal. And when it's all said and done, when the rest have quit, when the crowd has vanished, when no one's left but you and the road, you'll know. You didn't just survive the pain, you used it. You turned it into fire. You turned it into fuel. You turned it into you, the real you, the unstoppable you. You are always stronger than you think. You've been lied to, not by others, not by your enemies, but by the one person you listen to the most, yourself. Your mind has been feeding you limits, feeding you stories, telling you you're done, you're tired, you're not built for more. But here's the truth. Your body has 10 times more strength than your mind believes. And you will never tap into that strength until you go through hell and decide, I'm not done yet. The limits you feel, they're not physical. They're walls your mind built to keep you safe. Not strong, not dangerous, not elite. Safe. But safe has never built warriors. Safe has never forged greatness. Safe is the graveyard where potential is buried. You don't become powerful by playing nice with pain. You don't become legendary by backing down when it hurts. You become powerful when you stare down the storm and say, is that all you've got? When your muscles are screaming, when your lungs feel like fire, when your heart is pounding through your chest, and every voice inside says, this is it. You've reached the end. That's when the real voice steps in. The voice of the warrior. The voice that whispers, no. This is where it begins. This is where boys are separated from men. This is where average bows to elite. This is where the weak collapse and the relentless rise. Because here's what nobody tells you. Pain is not the enemy. Pain is the gatekeeper. Pain is the test. And only those willing to suffer, to bleed, to die, and be reborn in the fire, they're the ones who find what's waiting on the other side. You want strength? You want greatness? You want to feel what it's like to be unstoppable? Then go deeper. Go past your comfort, past your fear, past your tired legs, your shaky hands, your aching spine. Push into the chaos. Run into the resistance. Walk through the damn fire. Because buried inside you is a version that doesn't quit. A version that doesn't whine, doesn't beg, doesn't need permission. A version that says, if I fall, I'll get back up. If I'm broken, I'll rebuild stronger. If I'm hurting, good. That means I'm growing. That version is not soft. He's not distracted. He's not looking for approval or likes or easy paths. He's a weapon, a machine, a predator with a purpose. And you don't meet him by doing what's easy. You meet him when you break the chains your mind put on you, when you go into war against your own comfort zone. Think about the strongest people in history, the legends, the greats, the warriors, the kings, the machines. You think they didn't feel pain? You think they didn't want to quit? They did, but they made a decision. I will not stop, no matter what. That's it. That's the mindset. It's not about talent. It's not about luck. It's about refusing to back down when things get ugly. And listen, things will get ugly. You will fail. You will hurt. You will fall flat on your face. People will doubt you. They'll laugh. They'll question your grind. They'll say you're crazy. Let them. You don't owe them safety. You owe yourself greatness. Every time you push through pain, you prove something. You are not fragile. You are not average. You are not like the rest. You are willing to do what they won't. You are willing to suffer longer, fight harder, bleed deeper, and keep moving when every sane person would stop. That's power. That's not motivational fluff. That's discipline. That's identity. That's what builds champions, warriors, leaders, kings. Not just in the gym, not just in business, in every area of life. Because if you can dominate your own mind, if you can override your weakness, your doubt, your emotions, there is nothing that can stop you. Not fear, not failure, not pain, nothing. You will outlast everything. Because you've become the kind of man who refuses to break, and that man, he's already inside you, waiting, watching, ready to be awakened. So don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait for someone to believe in you. Don't wait until the pain stops. Move now, through the pain, with the pain. Make it your ally. Let it sharpen you. Let it burn away the weakness. Let it forge you into someone even you didn't think you could become. Because the truth is simple. You are always, always, always stronger than you think. You just haven't gone far enough to find out. So go further, harder, wilder, stronger. Go until your legs give out, and then crawl if you have to. Go until your mind shuts down, and then let your heart take over. Go until you break the fake limits and meet the real you, the version of you who is untouchable, and then keep going. Control your mind, or it will control you. Your mind is a weapon, but if you don't control it, it turns on you. It becomes the enemy inside your own head. And most men, they lose that war before they even start. They let the doubts creep in. They let fear take the wheel. They hand over the keys to their potential, to comfort, to hesitation, to weakness. They say things like, I don't feel ready. This might not work. What if I fail? And they call that logic. They call that being careful. But let me tell you something real. Caution never built an empire. Fear never forged a warrior. And hesitation has never made a man great. You either take command of your mind, or your mind will own you. And it will sell you the cheapest version of your life, all while convincing you it's the best you can get. Because your mind doesn't care about greatness. It doesn't care about strength. It only cares about survival, comfort, familiarity. And that's not where growth lives. Growth lives in war. Growth lives in resistance. It lives in the fire you want to run from. It lives on the other side of pain, of risk, of fear. So every time your mind says, take the easy road, you respond, that's not the path I walk. Every time it whispers, you've done enough, you say, then it's time to do more. And when it begs, can we stop now? You growl back, not until the job is done, because that's how warriors are made. Not when it's convenient, not when it's comfortable, but when you show up anyway, when you keep going anyway, when you dominate anyway. You see, the strongest version of you, he's already inside, but he's trapped behind layers of fear, excuses, and mental weakness. And the only way to get to him is to go to war with the part of you that's soft, the part that says, not today, the part that's always waiting for motivation. You lead your mind. You build discipline. You act without needing permission. Because the man who needs to feel good to take action will be crushed by the man who acts regardless of how he feels. The man who controls his emotions, who stands tall when his brain is screaming to give up. That's the man the world can't shake. That's the man who's dangerous. That's the man who builds the life he wants, no matter what's in his way. So remember this. The moment your mind says stop, you say no. We finish. The moment it says, this is too hard, you say good. That means it's worth doing. The moment it says, you can't, You say, I already am. Every time you push through that inner resistance, every time you silence the voice of weakness, you step closer to becoming unbreakable. And listen, this world will test you. Life will hit you harder than you thought possible. People will doubt you. Your own mind will try to sabotage you. But that's where greatness is born, not in comfort, but in the fight to overcome yourself. So rise, take back control, lead your mind, lead your life, and never let weakness make decisions for a man like you. Because in the end, you either conquer your mind or you become a slave to it. And that's not even a choice. That's a command. So lock in, lock on, and lead. Like your future depends on it, because it does. If you're still watching this, you're not average. You're not controlled by fear. You're not someone who backs down when it gets tough. You're built different. So if that's you, drop limitless in the comments right now. That's how I'll know you watched till the end and that you're one of us. Now hit that like button, subscribe for more content that pushes you to grow. And most importantly, join the channel. Because this is more than content. This is a mission. A community of people who refuse to settle, who refuse to be average. When you join, you're standing with that. So lock in, control your mind, break your limits, show up like the beast you are. I'll see you in the next one.